How's it going, Martians? Welcome back to the report. In today's report, we're covering two articles. The first here from Manu Naik, titled Ripple PayPal Will Compete with Latin America's Remittance Market. The second article was shared by Yoshitaka Katao over on Twitter, who is, for those of you who don't know, the CEO of SBI, which is one of the largest investors in Ripple, owning a 10% stake in the ecosystem. And the article they shared is titled XRP Will Play a New Era in Globalization from Jeffrey Tucker at the American Institute of Economic Research. Now, this article is translated from Japanese, so it may read a little bit strange, but we'll get into it. And obviously, before we jump into this, as always, if you're new to my channel, if you're looking for XRP related content, please be sure to hit that subscribe and ring that bell. And also, if you really enjoy the video, give me a like so that the YouTube algorithms promote this up for everybody in our ecosystem to see. So, getting straight into this first article, it begins, Ripple and XRP researcher CryptoAry recently uploaded a video regarding PayPal's new commercial agreement with one of the largest online commerce and payments ecosystems in Latin America and the 8th largest marketplace in the world, Mercado Libre. In March 2019, PayPal had made a $750 million investment into Mercado Libre as part of a $1.85 billion equity stake in the Argentinian e-commerce giant. This investment was supposed to support its goal of becoming the primary online retailer in Latin America. Soon after, in May, we learned that Ripple had signed a partnership with Ria, a financial service firm which has the second largest money transfer network in the world, to enable instant payments worldwide. Later in October, Ripple and Coinbase provided capital to cryptocurrency exchange Bitso to help expand their operations into Argentina and Brazil. Earlier in the year, Ripple had launched its on-demand liquidity, also known as ODL, product for Mexican users with MoneyGram, and Bitso's function as a liquidity provider has been crucial for the US-Mexican corridor. In November, just a month later, PayPal partnered with Ria to boost the adoption of its payment app, Zoom, which has been positioned as a market competitor to Ripple. On 30th of December, PayPal announced that it had signed a commercial agreement with Mercado Libre to offer, I said that different every time, but anyway, to offer innovative financial solutions to help people who are underserved by the traditional financial system. This development contributed to PayPal's stock value rising by over 2.5% in just one day. Further, as part of the agreement, PayPal announced that it will be made available as a payment option on the Mercado Pago online checkout page for people in Brazil and Mexico. This would expose PayPal's 300 million users to hundreds of thousands of new merchants, but more importantly, expedite the adoption of Zoom in Latin America. So, according to the announcement, this partnership will essentially enable 48 million Mercado Pago users, both in Brazil and Mexico, to pay with the method they love and trust, PayPal. All this while expanding Zoom's presence by allowing Mercado Pago users to receive remittances into their Mercado Pago wallets, initially in Mexico and Brazil. This according to Ari. This is no coincidence. As Zoom becomes more and more popular as a method for payments, Ripple's grasp over the Latin American remittance market could loosen. Further, this development also highlights PayPal's aggressive competitive strategy against Ripple, but its refusal to back down as a market leader after losing some investor support since publishing its second quarterly report in 2019. In fact, PayPal also received some flack for backing out from Facebook's proposed stablecoin project Libra last year. So this is obviously good to see competition in Ripple's ecosystem, but at the end of the day, PayPal is not utilizing blockchain to the best of my knowledge at least. And so PayPal's entry into the ecosystem does not negate even the potential of PayPal eventually working with Ripple instead of actually competing against them. I mean, you can't really compete against a network that can literally offer its users and participants virtually free remittance transfers. So, I mean, we'll see if PayPal is actually a genuine competitor, if Mercado Libre actually is any threat to Ripple, but or to XRP, but we will see in the future, right? But for now, awesome research by Crypto Airy, good stuff, and cool to see that a traditional outlet or a more mainstream crypto outlets covering XRP journalists on YouTube. If you're not familiar with Crypto Airy, also be sure to check her out here on YouTube and give her a subscribe as well. She does great research and is a great content creator for our ecosystem. So definitely go and give her a follow. She's also on Twitter at I'm terrible at remembering it, her at symbol. So I'll just pop it up here for you real quick. At Sento Sumosaba, SENTOSUMOSABA on Twitter. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, don't forget to give me a follow as well at Jade Martian. So this brings us in Twitter to Yoshitaka Kitao's tweet, where he obviously just tweets quoting Jeffrey Tucker and saying cryptocurrency news and breaking news at Coin Tokyo. So this article, once again titled XRP Will Play a New Era in Globalization, begins talking about Jeffrey Tucker of the American Institute for Economics having appeared on Boom Bust on the RT network last week. Recently, now last week, this is actually a few weeks ago because this article is from the 24th of December, so it's a bit old, and some of you may remember this, some of you may have missed this, but it was pretty interesting nonetheless to have RT actually having somebody talk about XRP, because I think this is actually a first. I've personally never seen Boom Bust or anyone over at RT speak about Ripple or XRP, so this was actually kind of big. At any rate, recently, Ripple reached a corporate valuation of $10 billion after a $200 million Series C investment round, which we're all well aware of at this point. Meanwhile, the digital asset XRP's price has fallen by 53% in 2019, making it a fantastic investment opportunity for anybody who has not already invested, and for everybody who's been invested, great chance to bring your dollar cost average even lower. At any rate, this is not something that seems to be something that's going to last much longer based upon current price movements too, since there's the chances are better than not that we're going to be returning 25 cents before seeing lower lows for XRP. But to get back to the article here, Mr. Tucker said that the cross-border remittance market is expanding with technology Ripple that is critical to swift border barriers and trade-offs. So many public investors may not be invested in that technology for the moment, argues that XRP could change the world. He said the system of the new era is already overwhelmed, or has already overwhelmed the old financial system. The virtual currencies such as the XRP, the ability and value to develop a new era of globalization. So I think that what this is meant to read is that the digital currency XRP has the ability and value to develop a new global era, or new era of globalization, or bring in a new era of globalization. I've read the article regarding this, and you can actually find the video where I go over an English-based article on this, so in a little bit more detail. I think I actually have video clips from the RT interview on Boom Bust regarding this, but you can check back on my videos to find one discussing RT. I think that might have actually been in the title of the video. But at any rate, to finish off this article, a direct quote from Tucker saying, legacy financial systems the legacy financial system, a new era of globalization, becomes because you cannot support this virtual currency in order to... Okay, so again, the translation on this is terrible. This is not what he said. It is not accurate of what he said. So essentially what this is saying is that the legacy system does not support the new era of globalization. Thus, virtual currencies will be utilized to satisfy the niche of the market, of the global market, and thus XRP is being adopted, and in this sense, XRP is extremely valuable. For Ripple Inc., a class action lawsuit over the securities of the XRP token filed against, there's a security, this is talking about the fact that there is also a class action lawsuit filed against XRP, and Tucker disagrees with the conventional methods and judge of XRP together. As far as it being a security, he believes that it's not a security. Again, the translation here is terrible, so I'm just kind of paraphrasing based on what I understand Tucker to have said. And the final quote here is talking about the fact that what they're trying to do in regards to classification of XRP is to reclassify these ultra-modern 21st century technologies using older 20th century categories, and to do such is utter nonsense. So that was a painful article to get through, but still awesome that Yoshitaka Kitao is tweeting an article to the Japanese people, because again, this is in Japanese normally, regarding this exact bit of information, and I think it speaks volumes to where SBI currently is in regards to what's going on with XRP. Now, people have commented. We have 0yx here, or 0yk rather, saying soon, coming soon, maybe next month, or maybe after next month, near end of year, after next year, in 2 years. Because, as anybody who's followed Yoshitaka Kitao regarding what he's discussed in the past, he originally said that SBI was going to be going live on XRP in 2017, and it took until 2019 for SBI to go live using just to begin opening up their network to investors, and they still haven't started utilizing XRP for remittances yet. So we also got an announcement that they intend to begin using XRP for remittances, and they intend to be half of the volume of XRP by the end of 2020. So that likely won't happen until the end of 2021, based upon Yoshitaka Kitao's current track record of predicting when they will begin utilizing or begin developing, or developments will take place, rather, is what I'm trying to say. So take it with a grain of salt. The bullishness behind the potential bullishness behind Yoshitaka Kitao sharing this article, but I do believe that this validates to some degree what Jeffrey Tucker was saying, because I know a lot of people, when I originally shared this talk about RT, that a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's Russia, that's propaganda," and it's like, well, a lot of stuff on RT is absolutely propaganda, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that are not, and I don't think that where Jeffrey Tucker was coming from regarding XRP is propaganda. So it's like, when it comes to propaganda in mainstream media, you have to actually be aware of real world events and understand the individuals who are presenting you news, so that you can know what biases they're going to inject, right? Like for example, whenever RT talks about America, well, chances are they're going to put a pretty negative slant on it because it's Russian media. So of course they're going to bash America in one way or another. It's just like when you listen to CNN, they're going to promote establishment Democratic candidates because they are the established Democratic news journal site or news journalist group. So obviously everything from them is going to be slanted towards their neoliberal agenda. Just like Fox News is a conservative network that is centralized around, that is owned and funded largely by big oil conglomerates. So everything that you see on Fox News is going to be anti-green energy and anti-anything that has to do with, being against oil, against the coal industry. And so, it's just knowing about who's getting money from who, and thus knowing the bias that individual is going to be that network is going to be presenting based upon that, right? It's like me. I'm deeply invested in XRP, so obviously I can't really, I try to remain as unbiased as possible because what I present to you is opinions based upon, my research and my attempts to keep myself and thus you, my viewer, from falling into a pitfall of being invested in something that's just not got any kind of future potential to it. But everything that I've done in my research has indicated that XRP is a fantastic investment opportunity, and that's why I have a YouTube channel talking about it. Now, because I'm so deeply invested, there's a lot of things regarding it that obviously I could be biased, and I might have blind spots in that bias because I'm so deeply invested, but I do try to check that as best I can. But that's something that everybody should be aware of, and that's why I make that aware to that knowledge available to you, my viewer, that I am invested in this. And this is why when it comes to you investing in XRP, that is your own choice. You take your own financial risks on your own opinion because I could be misinforming you. I don't believe I am. I try my best not to, but that's always a possibility because we all have our biases in this world, and so take it or leave it. But if you enjoy my biases, my potential biases, if you enjoy my opinion, please don't forget to give me a like now that especially you've made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And once again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe and ring that bell so you can be notified of all my newest content. And I will see you guys in the next video and in today's live stream, which will again be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead and punch that into whatever time zone you live in and figure that out. Punch it into Google and figure out what it is for your time zone. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the live stream where we'll go over the technicals, the charts, and see what's going on after several hours after I wake up early, bright and early in the morning. It'll be evening for all of you. But I'll see you guys there, as always, in the next one on Mars.